Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. D'Anthony.
Howdy.
Howdy, Dan. How are you doing today?
As well as you could expect, I imagine.
Full of life, full of zest, full of zeal. You've had it with the news.
I've had it with a lot of things, my man. Hey, is this private? Did you make this public?
Yeah, it's not showing up on YouTube. Can't see it. Can't see it, but if you're in here, welcome. I got it now. There it is. Boom, 21 people are watching already. Look at that. Look at that. No, you and I talked before we went on air, D'Anthony, and you were saying that the news has become exhausting.
Everything in the world has become exhausting, but particularly the news. And I guess it's because, at least from my perspective, there was like 5 minutes where a couple of people seemed like they were kind of getting their heads out of their asses, and now everybody's back to talking about politics.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's back on their side to discuss how black people don't really have it that bad. Systemic racism doesn't exist, and on the other side, they're talking about how white people hate everybody. So it's just like fucking stupid. Everybody's a piece of shit in this country.
It's getting crazier and crazier, and then I feel like we're definitely in a sim world now. Like I've moved from like maybe we're in a sim world to we're probably definitely in a sim world. Before we came on air, did you see the House Democrats wearing the Kente garb, the traditional African garb, take a knee? Twitter is raging right now about that. Cory Booker smartly decided to sit that one out.
Well, I saw a picture of this white family. It was 3 white people, and they had put themselves in stocks that were used to transport slaves.
I saw that. Was that real? Was it real?
I mean, it's not photoshopped. Somebody somewhere did that. Like, come on, man. Nobody is asking you to hate yourself because you're white. Nobody is like, they damn sure don't want to see that shit. You think that's some kind of sign of solidarity? You know what would be solidarity is admitting that there's an issue, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, as a white person, as far as you can go.
Yeah, at Georgia, do we have the capability to put clips in? We do, great. Type in the white people in stocks, the white family in stocks. I saw that. I thought it was a joke. Where do you even get that? Unless that's homemade. It's a white family in like slavery stocks, essentially, chains and things like that. Yeah, it's super fucking weird. I thought for sure it was fake.
All this shit is a fucking distraction. It's all a distraction. I mean, like, so think about the course of history over the last 6 months. We were very close to finding out that people like Bill Clinton and fucking Alan Dershowitz and all these major political and legal figures, CEOs of major companies, were raping children, right? We were this close. And then for the first time in human history, we decided to quarantine all the healthy people, right?
Yeah.
That was going. People are all pent up. And then this thing with George Floyd happens. And I feel like somebody saw that too many people were starting to get along, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to fuck this up. And you all out there, the ones that are parroting these fucking political parties, talking about how, well, fucking my party would do it better, you're fucking stupid. And it's ridiculous, and you should be ashamed of yourself for being that easily manipulated, frankly. Like, that's so fucking stupid. Everybody's just back in their corner now. Nothing is going to happen, except for here's what happens when you fucking when you step away and go back to your corner. You're not fighting anymore. You're just a little bitch hiding in your corner with your little party line talking points. You're a coward, right?
Right.
And nothing happens except for the people who are willing to stay in there and fight. And you know what they're going to do? The most radical shit ever.
Yeah.
Because that's what radical people do. They don't have anything. They don't have jobs. They don't have anything to do. So they're going to stay in there and fight and make crazy things happen. That's where draconian gun laws come from. And it's where stupid ideas like defunding the police come from. because you motherfuckers decided to go back to your party line talking points. Now these assholes have traction, and they're going to be able to fucking get some shit done probably.
Yeah. Type in Nancy Pelosi in the Kente garb. It's, this is a...
Who is typing? Because you can't fucking
whoever
spell.
is spelling like that is crazy.
God damn it, dude.
Nancy was spelled Nansi, which I've never seen that one before. Yeah, pop up that picture to the people here. There it is. Just taking every single Democrat is wearing that right now. Is that up on screen, Giorgio? Yeah. This one was a little shocking. Again, Cory Booker sat this one out.
You mean the black guy, right?
Yeah. He definitely didn't. He wanted no part of that. He was running for president and did not make it. The party didn't want him.
I mean,
apparently
is this
want
like wearing green on St. Patrick's Day, though? Is this that big a deal? To be honest, I don't want to overreact to this shit. I think it's a hollow and empty gesture, and it comes from people who truly don't give a fuck about black people. That's why it's offensive to me. But
well, black people are offended by it on Twitter right now, and they're like,
well,
hey,
that's
man.
probably why. This is not. You're doing nothing right now. It's like all
That's
these
exactly what they're saying.
stupid fuck cops that are kneeling with the police. Are you kidding me? Are kneeling with the protesters? Are you fucking? That's retarded. Like, why are you doing that, dude? Let them do their thing. If you want to show solidarity, turn around and look at the other police and fire the bad ones. That's how you show solidarity. You don't kneel. It's an empty, hollow gesture. It's fucking stupid. Craig Dulesky. No, I didn't color my beard. Look how gray it is. Especially right down here.
You could color up, though.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, color up, dude.
Yeah.
It'll take 10 years off your life.
I don't have 10 years to spare. I'm just about done with this worse shit.
Oh my God, that might be the line of the month. The other one I wanted to bring up before we get into defunding the police, type in the Cary Police, Cary Police.
Oh, is this the guy that was laying on his face with his hands behind his back?
There was one of the Cary. He was laying on his face with his hands behind his back, and then they were washing other families' feet. Washing other. Is somebody nervous to spell back there? Alec, is that what it is? Are you nervous to spell?
Yeah, he's feeling the pressure right now. I fucked with Alec for the last time. He's over there plotting his school shooting right now.
There it is.
He's going to come in here with a fucking one of those pepper guns and shoot me in the face.
Pop that up on screen there of the Cary Police washing black people's feet. I don't understand what that is. It's a biblical thing, Dan. I know you majored in theology.
So when there's this one, it's not really a parable, but it's a short story about Mary Magdalene, who is, at least according to the Protestant religion, was a prostitute, right? And she hung out in Jesus' harem.
Mm-hmm.
Harem's probably the wrong word, but I don't really care. So she hung out with all those guys and some of the apostles and some of his other followers. Actually, some of his disciples, not apostles. Apostles are the 12, disciples are the group, right? Anyways, some of those people were pissed off that he was keeping company with a prostitute, and he made the point that I came here to speak to people who needed it. All these people to me are equal. That was the whole point of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that gesture, I guess. I think it's a little on the nose. It's a little rudimentary. You know what I mean? Like if somebody says, I could really use a pat on the back right now, and you literally walked up to them, didn't say shit, pat on the back and left. That's essentially what this is. It's nonsense, dude.
Yeah, it's strange.
Fix the problem. If somebody's complaining about being on fire, this isn't white men can't jump. It's not Rosie Perez saying, I just want you to empathize with my need for water. No, I'm going to get you water, you idiot. Shut the fuck up. It's so goddamn stupid. Like, you're not doing anything at all to help people when you do that. All you're doing, I mean, look, a show of solidarity is good, but there's ways to do it. And the way to do it is to fix the problem.
Yeah, rather than this, like like you wearing Kente garb or washing people's feet doesn't really help anybody.
I'm gonna start wearing blackface every day, just every day. Just start showing up to protests in blackface and be like, "Hey, man, I'm with you guys.
I'm exactly like you guys.
Like I'm not. I know I haven't suffered like you, but I'm gonna wear this until I feel that suffering.
Yeah,
that way.
It's probably next.
God.
It's the fear of missing out on oppression, which we talked about last week. The FOMO oppression.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Somebody asked in here if I thought the police kneeling is like them trying to de-escalate the situation and calm it down. I'm sure that's what they're trying to do, probably, but that's stupid. Just walk out there. If you're the chief of police, walk out there and say, hey, you know what? The next time some asshole cop does some stupid shit, I'm going to fucking fire his ass, period. There's not going to be any, like, union. I mean, obviously you get a union rep and all that shit, but nobody's going to stop us from getting rid of bad police. And we're going to commit to making sure the people that are on the police force that are shitheads are gone.
Right.
Like, it doesn't start with waiting for a new incident to happen. It starts with looking back into the past of all these guys who are walking around with guns every day. Like this fuckface that killed Floyd had 17 previous, complaints against him. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Right.
Because you have to, as a police department, you have to treat every complaint as legitimate.
Yeah, and anybody can file a complaint. Yeah.
But based on his last act as a police officer, it seems like he was probably a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Yeah.
So I think you really need to go back and look at these people and see, like, if somebody is showing a pattern like that, you got to go. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's even if some of them were taken out of context and not necessarily what they were supposed to be, this job is too important. I would rather lose some police that are borderline than have somebody that's a shithead stay in that position because it's too important. And I'm sure cops won't like that, but I'm sorry.
Well, the reason why I bring up all this crazy shit that's going on is because it just keeps escalating into crazier shit like defunding the police. Yesterday, which was Sunday, the Minneapolis City Council voted to defund and disband the police force. Now, the mayor, he can't veto this at all.
No, he can't. But the people can, like, not. If these, I swear to God, if they try to literally defund the police in Minneapolis, that city is gonna fucking go wild. And I don't just mean with more crime. I mean, there's a lot more than just this small minority of people who are bitching about police in that city. Minneapolis is a very large city, a very diverse group of people too, and they're not. There's no way they're all on board with this.
What would happen, you think? I can't even imagine a day without police, let alone a week without police.
You know, I guess it depends on what you mean by what'll happen. Look, I've read some of the CNN articles, and I read it because
I do too, because I want to understand both sides, all sides. I read CNN, I watch CNN. Same with Fox and all the other news outlets, MSNBC, everything. I'd like to hear different viewpoints on things. So I'm with you on that.
I was just really bored and wanted to laugh because I figured the way that they present things was going to be funny. There's no, and look, it's everybody's fault here. CNN is the result of everybody on both sides being a piece of shit, just like Fox News is the result of that, and MSNBC and all these other fucking bullshit organizations. Now, they cause their own amount of drama, but we allow it. We're just as culpable. Everybody that's like, fuck the media and fuck the government, we're just as culpable. It's time to stop saying that and start doing something about it. But anyways, I was reading this article in CNN, and they were like, well, I mean, there's still going to be like firefighters and EMTs and shit like that. All right, cool. So what happens when some crazy fuckface is stopping police from getting in, or stopping the firefighters from getting inside to save people? The firefighters have no weapons to deal with that situation, nor the authority, nor the training. So good luck with that shit. You know, it's fucking stupid. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life, honestly.
But like, it keeps gaining steam in other cities. There is currently a petition for NYPD to be disbanded as well, which
there's 35,000 cops, and NYPD employs 35,000 sworn officers.
Did you imagine if New York City didn't have police officers?
Let them go, man. Fuck it.
If I'm a police officer, though.
If you're New York City and you think that's going to work, like, this is one good thing about companies and industry in general having a large effect on local politics, at least, because there's no way that sports teams and concert venues and restaurant associations and all this other stuff will ever let that happen in Minneapolis or New York. It'll never fucking happen, because as soon as it does happen, those people are going to pack their shit up and leave.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have any fucking other alternative, or the alternative is to only hire private police forces, right? Private security. And here's the difference between private security and sworn police officers. There is no oath for private security. They cannot, by definition, violate your rights. They can do whatever the fuck they want to you. Maybe you can sue them for assault, or battery or damages incurred like that, but you can't sue unless they're on orders from a government employee, right?
Right.
To do something. They can't violate your Fourth Amendment rights. They can't violate your Fifth, Sixth, 14th, none of it. They cannot violate any of those rights. Like, you can't go to court and sue some private security guard unless a cop told him to do what he did.
Right.
So what the fuck, man? Like, you're eliminating the entire system of recourse against the agency that you're trying to fix.
Yeah. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen in my lifetime, where I'm like, man, I woke up and I read that and I was like, is everybody gone fucking crazy? Has everybody lost their fucking minds?
I'm fine with it.
You want to defund the police? But if I'm the police, why not go on strike for like a week around the nation and say, hey, you know what? Cool. We had some shitty people. We're going to clean it up and try to fix it. But if you really want to defund the police in all of these cities, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just see what it's like for a week.
Well, I know that
just take a week off.
I know that quite a few police officers have quit already in New York and Minneapolis. I also know that like something like 60 NYPD officers have filed for early retirement in the last couple of days.
No shit.
Yep.
No.
They're done. They're one out. Look, it's hard enough to do that job without the pay, you know, and all the other stuff, all the fucking sacrifice they make, and the fact that the job sucks.
Yeah.
When people are just constantly railing on you all the time, I get it, man. I would quit too. I wouldn't want to serve. I guess it depends on where you are. If I was in a better place, it would be all right. But there's no fucking way that I would continue to serve people who are throwing shit at me and spitting in my face. Like, yeah. I support your right to protest and everything, and maybe I'll protest with you. But I'm not going to be on the other side while you're throwing shit at me, because I'll fucking smoke your ass.
Yeah, you were talking about your friends before we went on air, and they're constantly being spit on, throwing shit that your police officer.
Yeah, which
buddies.
I thought that was terrorism, right?
Yeah.
During a pandemic, to spit on someone.
Well, pandemic's over now.
For a while, that was terrorism. I guess
Yeah.
now it's just like let's all kumbaya. As long as you're singing kumbaya, you can't get COVID, I think, is how it works.
Or if you're wearing Kente garb, you can't get COVID anymore too. So
yeah,
that's nice.
Some of the people in the chat bring up a good point too. So NYPD has the largest counterterrorism organization outside of the federal government in this country. They operate the largest counterterrorism organization, and they work directly with the federal government a lot, because obviously a lot of stuff happens in New York. So we lose all that stuff. I mean, this is retarded. I hope it happens though. I hope I hope Minneapolis does it, and then fucking I'll never go to Minneapolis again.
I think it would be an interesting case study if it did happen. I don't want anybody to lose their jobs, obviously.
No, they'll fucking have jobs somewhere else.
I think so as well.
If you're a Minneapolis police officer and you're looking for a job, we'll fucking help you find one. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Sign up for Drinkin Bros. It's a private group on Facebook. We will absolutely help you find out. Shit, we even have Drinkin Bros jobs on there. That's a whole network on there. But I would like to see it happen as a case study, to see what happens with an entire city, and then how quickly they're begging for the police to come back. I think they'd all get raises, first of all, after a week of shenanigans without police officers.
Well, I wonder if there isn't something to that. Like a smaller police force of much more highly trained people. I don't necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to that, because...
How do you serve that many people, though, is the question. Because you got millions of people. How do less police help?
Here we're having a debate about police lately, but what we really are talking about is public safety, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's not necessarily about just the police. Public safety is a broad spectrum that includes work from the federal government for intelligence. It includes like fucking park rangers. It includes EMT, firefighters, nurses, and doctors. And there's a large group of people going on. Then it includes social workers and people like that are helping people get through tough times, and psychologists and all this other stuff. Their premise is kind of that we think we can defund the police and just spend money. It's based on the theory that there are no intrinsically evil people, right? That all crime is based on environment, and that is dumb. I mean, it's there is an absolute correlation. One of the oldest known facts with regard to criminal justice is that there's no greater causal link between crime and any other factor than poverty. Poverty is the most accurate predictor of crime, not only in a person but also in an area. So there is something to be said for spending more money in those neighborhoods. I agree with that. I don't know if you should do it at the expense of the police. I don't know what their budget looks like.
Right.
Like in LA, they want to bring 100 to 150 million out of the police budget and put it back into the community. That might make perfect sense. I don't know what their budget looks like, to be honest. I really don't know.
It's over $1 billion. I know that much, but I can tell you from living there all these years in LA, like it never seemed like it was enough.
Oh, it'll never be enough. But I mean,
for a city like Los Angeles.
But maybe that's kind of the point they're making, that the stuff that we're doing now is not working. And I don't know. It's almost like a filter. Like if we can filter enough up here with money, then our cops will have to deal with less down here. That's a theory that is backed up by some science, but I don't know what the application of that looks like. And I know doing it in response to this and trying to make it punitive towards police. Like this isn't because they think it'll work better. It's because they hate police. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all the talking points I've heard. So I don't know.
It's almost like the plot of a Batman movie. Wasn't the one with Bane where they didn't have police?
Well, he killed everybody.
Yeah. They didn't have any fucking police. They didn't have anything. It was just, they were fucking breaking shit. It doesn't seem like it's a real possibility, but maybe it is. I don't know.
I'm fine with letting them do that in Minneapolis because, again, I don't give a shit.
I don't either. I don't live in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the people that do live there. I have friends and family, not family, but people I consider family that live up there. And I would recommend they leave before that happens.
Yeah.
But if that's what they're going to do, let's see what happens. I mean, look, finally, Ellen Omar is getting what she wanted. She's turning Minneapolis into Somalia.
Yes.
So it's like, kudos to her. I mean, she's done everything she wanted. Her family was complicit in creating, fucking up Somalia's government and murdering who knows how many people. Then she comes here, gets a free pass, marries her brother or some shit.
Her brother, yeah.
Or fucked him or something, and then
got him into the country. By her marrying her brother, that gets him automatically in. So,
well, technically that's not true, but it's still a process. But yeah, I mean it helped. And then claims to not be fucking her campaign manager or whatever, but then he gets a divorce and the wife lists her as the reason.
Yep.
Like, come on, man. And now they're dating or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Then now they're together.
Look, life is complicated. I'm not going to bag on anybody for their personal life like that, but she is just a huge piece of shit. And it's interesting now to see. This is what I was talking about 6 months ago with this woman on the fake news show. She tried her party line or whatever the fuck. Her story is that she escaped Somalia to come here.
Right.
But why bring all the shitty parts of it with you? Like, do you really think lawlessness is that really?
That's what I don't understand.
I mean,
when people come to America and then they bitch about things that are going on in America, and you come from a shitty country that's poor and impoverished like that, like why do you want to bring that here? You're taking the worst parts of your country and you want to bring it here and be like, oh man, you know what? It was too good over here. You know what I could really use it for it to be real goddamn shitty. So to see it happening though in real time, it's nuts, dude. And what does this do to the elections?
I don't know. I mean, look, I'll tell you what it does to the elections. Trump is going to get reelected by fucking 50 points if they keep up with this bullshit.
But CNN's polls today that just came out this morning have Biden winning. He's up by 14 points over Trump. Man. What world is that?
It's not a world of reality. I mean, look, who is CNN calling?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because they didn't call me. I don't like Trump, to be honest, but I would never vote for Biden.
Yeah,
just because he's ineffectual, he's senile, clearly, demonstrably racist in his practices over the last 50 years or so. So I'm not really I don't think that's even a debate. If I was one of those people who just voted for the least of two dum-dums, I would definitely be voting for Trump. So I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. But if people keep attacking first responders like this, there's going to be a point where people say enough. And maybe we need to. Maybe we just don't need to be one country, you know.
Maybe this is breaking news right now. Former NYPD commissioner claims 600 officers are considering an exit from the force amid the riots that have happened in New York City. Police Commissioner Bernard Kirkic said 600 officers were considering leaving the force amid protests in response to the death of George Floyd. Man, 600. So, how many officers are there?
So it's 36,000.
Okay.
So 35,000, I think. Thereabouts. Yeah, it's dumb. So you had the moral high ground, and then you start saying crazy shit, and you lose everybody. Yeah. It's like you win an argument. Like you walk into an argument, and like, oh, actually, it's this, and everybody's like, oh yeah, you're right. You know, like, and also in addition to it being this, fuck every one of you. Like, whoop. That seemed like a non sequitur and a little unnecessary, and now we all hate you. It's so fucking stupid, but that's the country we live in. Everybody's a dum-dum.
Yeah, and I know you're frustrated with it. I'm frustrated with it. I see a lot of friends who are just leaving social media in general.
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit of that as well.
Where they're like, hey, guys, I'm just deleting my Facebook. Some of them are giving no reasons, you know, whether they're tired of politics or race or whatever the fuck's going on, goddamn hurricanes, whatever, you know, like they're leaving social media. I wonder how big of an effect this will have on people's psyches going forward. Because
I think everybody was already pretty on edge being quarantined for 2 months. And I'm sure that has something to do with how crazy everything got and how fast it got crazy, I'm sure. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Even Joe Biden, he just steps out right now and just said he rejects the calls to defund the police. I think that's something.
I guarantee you his campaign ran a poll first before they put that statement
out. You think
so? Oh, yeah.
And they said, hey.
It only cost about $30,000 to put a poll out like that.
And then get the results back to that. It just seems so fucking crazy. Everything that's going on right now. Even I talked about this early on Ross Patterson Revolution. You know, they're remaking the Looney Tunes on HBO and rebooting them. So Elmer Fudd, and they had to make an announcement. They said Elmer Fudd is not going to carry guns anymore. Neither is Yosemite Sam. And instead, they're going to carry like one of those Grim Reaper sickles, one of those Siths, if you will, because guns have too much of a negative connotation. Elmer Fudd, the only thing he was chasing rabbits with was a goddamn gun. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're just going to wipe out everything that's coming out. So, yeah, I mean, maybe the exit of 10 years on this earth, Dan, is probably right on the money.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of weird shit going on. I don't know if you saw CrossFit.
Yeah.
Reebok just pulled out of CrossFit entirely, which has been their biggest sponsor for years.
Yes.
And they're done now because the CEO, he said racism, the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation made a statement that said racism and discrimination are public health issues. And Greg Glassman, who's the CrossFit CEO, said it's Floyd-19, like COVID-19, which is kind of quippy and clever. I don't know what his intent behind saying that was, but obviously he probably should not have said that.
Right.
And now that organization is fucked.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I'm in CrossFit right now because it's the only gym that is open. So I've been in it before, so it's fine. It's not my favorite. Too many fucking lunges and shit. It's too much legs. And if you're a gym out there, I don't know that you ever need to work out legs. It's all upper body, baby. It's all beach body, brother.
That's not accurate.
Nah, it is accurate. It should be all pecs, arms, bis, tris, abs. That is all anybody's really going to see. When you're buck naked in the bedroom, you know, let's face it, the lights aren't blaring at you. Like, you really don't need fucking sweet-ass legs, dude. I've never seen one person with huge quads where I was just like, oh, man, that's somebody I want to fucking bang. No, dude, I want to see some upper body shit going down. CrossFit's a lot of legs, and I hate that, but it's the only place I can work out at. Even in the tiny town that we live in, Dan, everybody was talking about this morning. Everyone.
About CrossFit?
About Reebok. Pulling their sponsorship. There was 2 other sponsors of CrossFit that pulled out. And what happens with CrossFit is this. You pay, I think it's $25,000 or $50,000, and you get kind of a franchise thing on the word CrossFit. And that's kind of it. And you build your own programs based on what you think and blah, blah, blah. I think Rogue just pulled out as well.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And they were talking about it, and everybody was bitching in class this morning. They were like, man, I don't know why they just don't call it functional fitness anyways. Like, you know, do we like CrossFit? The word CrossFit has a negative connotation, and I think that's true to a certain extent. I'm embarrassed to tell people I'm in CrossFit.
It's very culty.
It is, yeah.
Which is irritating. But it is what it is. It's a pretty good way to work your body out, I reckon.
Yeah, it is. Fuck, man, I am absolutely smoked, and I don't mind it. But you're right. The word CrossFit absolutely does have a negative connotation. So I wonder if that switches over. I saw a 60 Minutes on this guy, the guy they're talking about who created this, and his whole shit was just kind of aloof and out there and super in it. He was super culty, you know, but he's rich as fuck. And I doubt that he really gives a shit about, you know, whether or not Reebok is still in it or not. Who knows?
Who, the CrossFit guy?
Yeah.
Probably not at this point. I mean, he's already rich, so what does he care?
Now, the rest of the gym owners, I don't know what that does to them or how it affects their lives.
I don't think they see any money from that unless Reebok is doing shit individually with them, which would be, I don't think that's the case.
I haven't seen anybody wearing Reebok.
I don't.
When's the last time you saw somebody wearing Reebok in your life?
UFC is the only time I
That's
ever
it?
see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that. I think Reebok is chasing clout.
I agree.
And they're not going to get it because Nike's already bought all the clout. So sorry.
Nike, and I will say this: Adidas is out there making some
Adidas
cool
is
shit.
a worldwide brand too. So that's like Nike is and Adidas is. I don't think Reebok is a worldwide brand. Honestly.
No. I can't remember a time in the. I think the last time they were was maybe the late '80s. Remember when D Brown and those pump-up shoes? Mm-hmm. I think that was the only time Reebok made a run at it, where it was like, all right. I think it's the only time I've owned a pair of Reeboks in my life.
Then they had the pump baseball glove.
Oh yeah, that's right, dude. I think I had that as well. But the D Brown, the orange basketball and those black high tops, that was sexy, dude.
No, it wasn't.
Nothing
that happened back then was sexy.
Nah, it was sweet. Now, LA Gear, on the other hand, was definitely not sexy.
I still wear Jordache jeans.
And LA Gear, and a lot of Oaktown,
Puma.
We got some sponsors who pay for this whole shit wagon to be on the air. First and foremost, talking about ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. 25% off, D'Anthony.
25, huh?
25% off everything in the entire store.
They're never going to go back down to 15%, I guess.
I guess not, man. So take advantage of it. Because I would imagine sometime they'll rip this. Is that a picture of Scott Stapp up there? Joria? Oh, some Jinko jeans. Yeah, I remember the Jinkos. Who was their spokesman? Fabio?
It's JNCO, not JINCO.
JINCO, and Jinko was his name. Oh. Ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Giving you 2 free pillows with a purchase of a mattress as well. They got adjustable bases. They got sheets. They got pillows. You name it, they have it at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. The adjustable bases have like USB ports and shit in them too. So you charge up your phone, flashlight, anything you can think of. And as always, they got a 36-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. And that deal is still applicable with the 25% off deal. Next up, we got KillcliffCBD.com. Man, I drink the shit out of this, Dan. You got the gold chain.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Are they selling these? People are asking if they're selling these.
No,
Killcliff is selling these.
I talked to one of their guys last week, and he said that they're trying to find a U.S. manufacturer for them.
Okay.
So they can make them in mass for people.
In bulk?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Look, there is not a night that goes by that I don't have a fucking Killcliff before I go to bed now. I'm fully addicted to that shit. And all the flavors are great. I know I always say the grape is the best, but all of them, man. I've been drinking that orange kush the last 2 nights. Big fan. They got orange, grape, and mango. 25 milligrams of CBD in every single can, and you will not piss hot. So if you're taking a drug test out there, there's no THC in these. My dad drinks fucking 2 of these a day, 1 in the morning and 1 at night. He's an older gentleman, but he needs it.
Old bones.
It's good. It's good for the joints, man. Because of the CrossFit shit, I've been pounding this. It kind of takes me down a notch and eases into my body. I like it a lot. Go to killcliffcbd.com today. Promo code Drinkin Bros gets you, 20% off and free shipping?
Yep.
Damn it, man. That free shipping is really helpful. When you're shipping cans, that'll ring you up, dude. You get 20% off and free shipping on a case. Go to killcliffcbd.com. That's the best in the biz. The summertime drink this year is Kill Cliff and vodka.
Yep.
Kill Cliff CBD and vodka.
It's my all-the-time drink.
It's the goddamn best, man. It's almost like you're getting 2 drugs in one, 2 different vices into one little glass. Huge fan of it. Next up, we got Thompson Cigar.
I actually smoked a cigar with Dr. Frank last night.
Was you really?
Yeah. We were working on some business stuff. Had a nice cigar. It's always nice to calm down in the evening and smoke cigars. I'm a big fan. It's relaxing during these stressful times.
I'm a big fan of Dr. Frank.
I could do without him, but the cigars were really good.
He's a great dude. Surprised you can get him out without the wife.
No, we were at his house.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, she could see us. She kept peeking in there to make sure he hadn't left or make sure he wasn't having any fun or anything.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
She doesn't listen to the show, so it doesn't really matter anyways.
I'll talk shit to her in person. I don't give a shit.
Tell the world about Thompson, D'Anthony.
Well, ThompsonCigars.com is it's like shit. It's like Amazon for cigars, basically.
Yeah.
You can find every goddamn cigar that exists on the air.
Yep.
And for very, very reasonable prices as well. It's nice. My favorite is, let's see. I like Padron, like the 5.5-inch Maduros. They're very good. I don't think you've ever seen my humidor, but I've got hundreds of cigars.
No.
Big fan of those. I don't think there's anything I've ever tried to find on there that I couldn't find. So it's good. And now Father's Day is coming up in a couple of days.
Yeah, so look, Father's Day is coming up on the 21st. They're running a Father's Day special. They never run any form of deals because they don't have to.
Yeah, they don't need to.
It's like the fucking Ferrari of cigars, for Christ's sakes, sites. So it's Drinkin Bros, and you get, 15% off?
Yep.
And if you order over $100 worth, you get 20% off.
So over $75 purchase, you get 15% off, and over $100, you get 20% off.
Boss. Go there now to ThompsonCigar.com. Use the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout, and you can make your father real goddamn happy there. Last but not least, who do we got, D'Anthony?
I don't even know. Let me look.
Yeah. Find it.
It's probably dick pills, to be honest.
Is it? Is it time for a fucking boner? Goddamn right it is, dude. Go to GetRoman.com/Drinkin Bros. Get that boner on. Look, you're out of the quarantine. You've got to put on a performance with the ladies, dude, in order to make a real big splash. Pun intended. Get back in the game, dude. Pop a couple boner pills before you go out. There's a reason why Roman has overtaken Viagra in the market is because it's time to get damn dicks hard. Brother. Free shipping, free online doctor visit. You don't have to go into your doctor and say, I've got erectile dysfunction. My penis is floppy. It doesn't work. I don't know what to do with it. It's just so much skin in a head. Fuck you, dude. Just go online and get this shit. Take a little 5 questionnaire and boom. They'll ship it to your house within 48 hours in a discreet package. Go to GetRoman.com/Drinkin Bros today. Get that dick hard again. Get that dick hard again. There's nothing wrong, by the way, if you have ED. It's a stressful time in the world. Dan, you know?
Yeah,
a lot
it
of
is
people are
very
making
stressful.
bad decisions out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody is doing the right thing right now, to be honest.
It kind of feels wild, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're completely off the rails at this point.
How do we get back on? Or do you think it's too far gone at this point?
I mean, now we've reached a point where everybody's actual point has been diluted. by nonsense,
Yeah.
and everybody's retreated to their corners because they're intellectual cowards and they're unwilling to face what's wrong with them before looking at everybody else. So it's going to become more comfortable just to allow that to exist as the elephant in the room again. This will all be over soon.
Yeah.
I think. For a while, I thought this was going to go on for a while, but I think this will all die down here in a couple of days.
You know, I think sports coming back will have a big effect on the world just because you'll have more and more distractions from this shit being jammed in your face all day.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wish it wasn't golf coming back next weekend, but it is. If Tiger's playing, I'm down, you know. But I think once the NHL, NBA, and then in particular college football starts, I think people will start to stop paying attention to the news.
We'll see if college football comes back.
It is.
I mean, Alabama had all their people reporting 9 guys got coronavirus in the first fucking 3 days.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No. Ohio State's back today.
Nope.
It's Monday, yeah. So Ohio State's back today. The notification I got from Ohio State said that they're hoping to put 50,000 people in the stadium. The state of Texas.
I don't really care, man. Honestly.
I don't either.
I don't give 2 fucks what's going on with any of this stuff. It's 5. I'm sorry.
5 people, 5 COVID cases.
I thought it was 9 for some
reason. And they said it's not a good sign.
The scientific journal Nature.
Oh, big fan of that. I get that every week.
Nature.com. These pieces of shit.
I don't believe anything I read anymore. But I want sports to come back so I can have a distraction from the rest of this shit where it's just like, all right, cool. The problem is the NFL is the biggest one, right?
Yeah.
There is an over-under on mybookie.com, who, by the way, is signing up for the entire next year. Promo code Drinkin Bros will double your deposits. Right now, there is a bet on mybookie.com of Drew Brees kneeling for the opening game.
Well, it seems like everyone is going to be kneeling for the opening game.
I put the house on it. So I bet the max bet, though, the only problem is the max bet is $25, but it was 3-1 odds. So you win $75 if you put $25 on Drew Brees kneeling week 1. I think everybody will be. Everybody will be kneeling week 1. I don't know how long that will last because they've been bringing up the Colin Kaepernick shit a lot, right? And
yeah, everybody's trying to vindicate him, even though he was a total turd during this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like complete piece of shit. There were some other guys that knelt for the flag that tried their best to make the point that they weren't trying to be intentionally disrespectful or whatever the fuck. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so I
think we're fucking offline here.
Is it off? Oh, okay. It's one of those things where with the Kaepernick shit and everybody kneeling now, is that going to piss off everybody again?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it'll piss people off. I don't know what's going to happen. I think the point of a protest is the same thing as walking into a room and saying attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get everybody's attention. Like, hey, everybody. And then you start saying the stuff that you're supposed to be saying. Yelling it in the street isn't really the way to get it done. So I get it, but I also understand that they've been doing that for a long time now. Like trying to calmly articulate their point, and nobody's listening. So I don't know. I think things are going to continue to go sideways and sideways and sideways in little spurts, but they can't ever get legs under them. I don't know why.
No, and with the NFL in particular, the regular internet's out, Dan, by the way. The fiber's on is what we're being told here. The other thing about it is how long this stretches out, right? If you're in the NFL, does kneeling stretch out for the rest of the season?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on what Roger Goodell decides to do and how they decide to handle it. I mean,
well, there's a rumor that he got forced into this.
He's not going to tell them to not kneel at this point. That's for sure.
No,
that's not going to happen. So I don't know what his next step is or whatever the fuck. But as far as the players go, I think, man, they're putting a lot of people in very precarious situations because they're having to, like Jordan used to say, Republicans buy sneakers too. Now he was joking when he said that, but there's some truth to it.
I don't know if he was joking. Jack Nicholson said the same thing.
He says he was joking about it, but at any rate, I don't know, man. It's the right toning down rhetoric and trying to understand other people, and now every single one of those persons.
I love this type of Dan who's just had it with the world. Like you've just absolutely had it with the world. Is there a part of you that's like, all right, I just accept it and move on?
I mean, I'm not going to stop talking about it personally to people. Like if somebody says something like that I think is stupid, I'm going to call them dumb.
Of course.
Tell them that they're dumb.
Of course.
Absolutely. But like there's no activism for a white person with a predominantly conservative audience aside from just talking to them. That's all I can really do here. I'm not going to go fucking canvass neighborhoods and tell other people about the plight of a third party. Doesn't make sense.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not going to forget about it for sure. It's mentally exhausting to have it on your mind all the time. But I assume it's probably a little bit more exhausting to be the person on the other end of the oppression as well. So
sure.
I don't know.
I look at the exhaustion as, again, there's nothing else on right now. And there's no productions. Hollywood is out of things to put out because they've been shut down for so long because of the pandemic. And there is no sports, or not a lot of sports right now, that there is no other distractions from this. And I understand the exhaustion from people. My wife said the same thing last week. When we got off air Thursday night, she was like, man, I am exhausted by this news. Like, I just want to see my kids go play in a pool and not think about anything that's going on.
That is what black people would call privilege, by the way.
I understand.
Like people that say there's the wrong idea and amongst white people about what the phrase black or white privilege means. It doesn't mean that your life is easier because you're white necessarily. It means your life isn't more difficult because of your skin color. That's essentially what it means. Like the ability to ignore what's on the news and go about your day-to-day life, that is what people are referring to when they say white privilege. So that's, you can't really contest that that's a thing. Like I can definitely tune all of this out and will not affect my life in any way, except for having to see people kneel during the fucking football season. That's really the most.
And even that, let's face it, they're going to cut that out. They're going to edit that out of the broadcast.
Well,
not the first week, but after that, I guarantee you they will. But what Jessie, my wife, was referring to was not only just, you know, the hatred on both sides, but also the politics involved in all of this stuff. And the gestures like you see today with the fucking Kente shit and everything, like it is so tone deaf that it's hard to watch. And people just keep fucking it up over and over and over again.
You can tell who wants to make something happen and who wants to appease the crowd.
Right.
Right. And all of these people out here that want to make something happen, I imagine it's very tiring going out and protesting for 4 or 5 hours a day, trying to have your voice heard for the first time in your generation. You know, these people that are out there protesting right now, their parents and grandparents were alive when police were enforcing Jim Crow laws. Like if you were a black person and you walked up to a fucking whites only water fountain and started drinking out of it, you will get arrested for that. That's what their grandparents knew about police, and that's what they taught their children about police, right? So understand that everybody's coming from these different perspectives. Not everybody sees everything the same way you do. Maybe that is too much for us to bear. Maybe it's too much for us to all be in a country together. I don't know. Like that seems like the easy way out, and that's what angers me about these platitudes, like wearing this stupid shit in solidarity. It's like that doesn't fix anything.
No.
You're all you're trying to do is get clout by doing that.
Yeah, and it says, you know, this keeps getting updated live, which is why we're on the air on YouTube. Subscribe to Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube, by the way. But, you know, there is a lot of Democrats that are calling for this defund the police. And then the top ones in Congress are like, hey, man, we really can't do this. But the problem is the biggest voices on the Democratic side right now is that Gang of Eight. It's the radical, you know, it's AOC and Oman.
They're
and
not the
biggest.
guys. They're just the loudest.
But right now, that is winning. If you are the loudest in politics, you are winning.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Trump is the loudest for on the Republican side.
Trump is, his loudness isn't what gets him votes, though. It's his ability to not give a shit about criticism.
Yeah.
Not that he doesn't. He is a petulant child. if I get on Twitter and talk shit to him during the right time of day and he happens to see it, he'll absolutely talk shit back to me.
Yeah.
Like, and that's surreal for a human being in America, in a country that has 330 some million people.
Yeah.
Where I can go fucking troll the president and actually get a response. Not probably, but there's a decent chance that I can get a response if I talk enough shit to him over time. But his ability to, if somebody said, we're going to fucking, we think you shouldn't get elected again because of this, he'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks for your fucking opinion, dickhead.
Cool story.
Like, he doesn't give two fucks about any of that stuff. And I think that's his real power. These people are so sensitive that it's not just, when you're that sensitive to what other people say, you're not only affected by your enemies, you're also affected by your friends. And the base of that gang of 8, the fucking far left base, they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They're never going to get any of that shit done. Like, look at Bernie Sanders, dude.
Yeah.
He is whatever you have to say about Bernie Sanders and his policies and all this shit, he is an infinitely better candidate than Joe Biden is and than Hillary Clinton was. Like, way better.
And the other thing is the youth loved him.
Yeah.
They would at least come out and vote for him, and I don't think they're coming out for
Well,
Biden.
that premise that young people vote Democrat is going to be challenged this year, I think, because I think a lot of young people are hopefully waking up. Like, I would ask people on the conservative side to do the same thing that you're asking other people to do. A lot of people on the conservative side right now, there's something called Blexit. You familiar with this?
Mm-hmm.
Like black exit from the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I think they should Blexit from all political parties, and so should you, because I think that they're harmful. I think we should elect the best person, right? So if let's say you go to elect or you go to vote and your choice is a Republican and Democrat, you know for a fact that Republican is going to be the exact same as most other Republicans on most of those issues. That's crazy. Why would you want that? Like, I want somebody that's an independent thinker that can change their mind when new evidence appears and doesn't get pigeonholed into a party line that's nonsense. Like, do you know how hard it is for an entire party to change their mind?
It's
like,
impossible.
it takes 20, 30 years for that to happen.
Yeah.
We don't have time for that shit. And it's both of these dicks. So,
yeah, I'll be curious to see how this shakes out here. But we'll get to something hilarious at least to end the show. Dan Bilzerian is back in the news.
Is he like asking cops for guns at fucking protests or something?
Close. That Las Vegas story is still one of the best of all time. Hey man, I need you to give me a gun. What? I'm an Instagram star. I need a gun. Get the fuck out of here, bro. No, so he's got a new book coming out, and maybe this was
is it like a coloring book or something?
Part of it.
He's dumb as shit.
I know the writer of this, by the way, he's a fucking idiot, and he doesn't really have that much life experience.
Well, he's done a lot. If he wrote like a Tucker Max style book, I would probably read that, to be honest, because it would be wild ass stories.
It's what he did. It's what he did, right?
All right, I might read that.
So it's an autobiography. But he went online today and said, "Hey, I'll give someone." He said, "I just finished writing my autobiography." No, you didn't, Dan. I know who wrote that book. It was definitely not you. 5,000 to the best book title in the comments. He's been getting killed all day.
Oh yeah, you.
One of them was "Hand me your gun." There is a million on here that just says, let's see, how to get famous off of paying models to hang out with you. That's a good one.
It worked.
Fair. That's fair enough. Some people said how to have white privilege and talk about your book coming out during the times that we're going on.
What does that have to do with anything?
Twitter is having a field day with it today. Here's the thing. I haven't heard about Dan Bilzerian in a while.
No, and you don't need to.
I was one of the initial followers who were like, holy shit. Because I didn't know who he was, and I saw all this shit pop up. Like, I heard he was a Navy SEAL. I heard all these stories, and then I knew somebody who worked with him. And I was like, what's the real story behind that guy? Like, what does he fucking do?
Eunuch. That's one name somebody recommended.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nipper McSlipperson. And that was from shooter_McGavin 1984 on Instagram. If you want to go congratulate that guy.
The internet's on fire. So I asked my buddy, I was like, hey man, what's the real story with Dan Bilzerian? And he goes, man, it's really fucking hollow. And he goes, he gets paid an appearance fee to go to these clubs. The girls are paid, and there's somebody there just snapping photos the entire time. And then once they have the right photo for Instagram, then they'll just fucking bounce and go to whatever the next thing is. And but he's like, the girls look lifeless behind the scenes.
Well,
like
this picture got 1.8 million likes, so I think he's doing fine.
You're kidding. How many followers does he have?
Like 23, I think.
23 million followers?
31.4.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Maybe we're the assholes, dude. Maybe he's the one doing it right.
No, I mean, look, if the Kardashians are as like rich, and I guess I'll say this: if you walked into a room and everybody in that room was a dude, and and there was 4 TVs in that room, and every single one of them had gay pornography on it, you can pretty much assume that every dude in that room is gay, right?
Yeah.
That's a logical conclusion.
Yeah, one would think.
Now, if 31 million people follow this guy and another 100 million follow the fucking Kardashians, you can assume that there's that many people that are fucking retards in this country. So, I mean, it's just a logical conclusion that these people are fucking idiots. It's fine. Just be who you are. If we're going to be the Chads of the world, let's just fucking do it, man. Be the best at what you're going to be.
Be the best Chad you can possibly be.
Like
I agree with that.
Like, let's just go full on Chad. Let's all of our dads become lawyers.
Yeah.
And just start suing other countries for random bullshit and telling the police that they can't fuck with us.
I would love to just start punching holes through drywall. I really would.
That's more of a Kyle than a Chad. But
is it?
Yeah.
I'll go. You go Chad. I'll go Kyle. Then how about that?
I think I'm more of a wall puncher than you are, to be honest.
Are you? I could see you putting your fist through a bunch of walls.
I'm so angry every single day. Like I honestly, the last week or two, I don't think I've ever been this angry in my life, and like at any point in my life.
Because of what's going on in our country?
That's part of it, yeah.
What's the other part?
I mean, it's more like seeing the way people react to shit. Like how dumb everybody is. You ever wonder, and I'm nowhere close. We have a lot of smart people in our audience, by the way. I get DMs all the time.
Yeah.
From people asking me everything from philosophy to physics. Like there's a lot of smart Drinkin Bros out there.
Yeah.
But in general, people are fucking dum-dums, and I always wonder if somebody that was like truly brilliant, like Einstein or something like that, if he just walked around thinking everybody was a fucking idiot all the time, or if he just didn't care.
So here's the camp I'm in.
Because I get tired of explaining myself.
I assume the least of people. Therefore, I'm not really disappointed if people are dumb as shit. Because I already start at the bottom. Then that way you can only go up in my eyes, where it's just like, oh, all right, great. If we're at a tailgate or something, and somebody is able to, let's say the flint goes out on your grill, and you're able to light it with a lighter, and the whole thing doesn't explode in your face. Congratulations, you're the smartest person I've ever met.
Yeah. Nobody likes a quitter.
No, they don't.
No, that's one of the titles of his book.
Because he quit the Navy SEALs.
He quit Buds, yeah. Yes, the stories one can tell once the statute of limitations expires.
Oh, that's right. 10 years. 10 years on that. Tell you what, since we've been going almost live with you guys every day, I feel like, we never really do this. Who's ever's on the boards right now in Drinkin Bros, tell us who your Drinkin Bro of the week is, and we'll try to read off as many as we can for you. That way, live, I think it's like a 40-second delay, Giorgio, right? Between us and the audience. Tell us who your Drinkin Bro of the week is, and we will read them live on air. Because typically we only do one. Now we can do a bunch of them.
I'm really trying not to be a fucking piece of shit, by the way. I understand that I'm moody.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to keep at least a decent attitude sometimes, but man, it's tough lately.
Yeah, you're over the day.
I've been over it for weeks.
What's the sport you're looking forward to coming back the most? Baseball. Will baseball do it for you? I feel like you're calm in baseball season.
I'm engaged. I wouldn't say calm. Like think of you ever heard that story, that one whale that their the noise they make is at a different frequency than any other whale that exists?
Mm-hmm.
So they just walk around screaming and nobody's listening to them. That's how I feel. Like my brain just operates at a different type of I don't know if it's a different speed or whatever it is, or wavelength or whatever the fuck, but I just feel like I don't really I'm not great at communicating with people sometimes because I want all the information, I want it now. Because my brain is capable of processing that fast. And when people start, you seen me do it before. Like Alec, when Alec tells me a story, I think he actually gets nervous now when he's starting one because he knows that I'm going to be like, get enough of the preamble. Give me the story. So I get impatient, but I'm trying to be more patient.
Drinkin Bros of the week here, who are submitted 1911 Deathstroke, says Dan. You know what, man? Dan, you've been on fire for the last week, even though you've been miserable. You've been on fire. You've been carrying these shows for the last week, dude. I'm here for it. The more misery that's going on in the world, the better you are, Dan. It's almost like your reverse theory of college football stadiums, wanting the home team to lose so you can soak in all their evil.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, but there's a psychological and emotional price to be paid for that.
There really is, man. There really is. Jessie said the same thing when she was like, God damn it, man. I can't. This is too much. It's too much news. Rihanna A says, I'll nominate Michael Hando because his birthday is this Saturday. Shit. Happy birthday, man. The mighty Alex says, my drinking bro of the week is my little brother, Lyndon. Fucking cheers, dude.
Who the fuck names a child Lyndon these days?
Lyndon is it's an old school name, isn't it?
Well,
Lyndon.
There's only one in history that I remember.
B. Johnson? Yeah. But this one's Lindo. It's not Lyn.
Either way, how old is your brother, guy?
Yeah, how old is Lyndon? We'll give him a fucking shout out here. He better be like fucking 40.
Yeah, if he's your little brother.
Yeah. If he's like 4, it's gonna be a hard knock life there for Lyndon. That's a really old name.
One of my drinking bros of the week is the Hawk, because I talk a lot of shit to that dude.
Oh yeah, he's on here all the time.
I don't think he agrees with anything I say either.
Oh really? Yeah. Let's see. Tyler Swank says, I'd like to give my dad Kevin Swank. He raised over $25,000 for AIDS research to help friends affected by the disease.
I got to be honest. I appreciate him doing that, but it's hard not to tell a joke about AIDS.
Yeah. Cause
anytime I hear the word AIDS, it could be the worst thing possible. It could be the apocalypse and somebody like, oh man, my fucking mom and dad died. My fucking kids died. Now I found out I had AIDS. I'm like, oh shit, you got AIDS, bitch. You know what I mean? It would just be like really difficult to keep a straight face and not talk shit to him for having AIDS. I don't know why it's so funny.
I told an AIDS joke to our waitress the other day. She came running out of the restaurant. She was like, sir, you forgot these papers. They look like important medical papers. And it was Jessie. She just got back from the doctor. And I was like, oh, my God, thank you. I was like, you've no idea how bad a news this is. She's like, oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, you should be, because it's AIDS. And my wife has it. And the look on her face.
Did you tell her to wash her hands?
No. But she went white as it goes. And then I go, I'm just fucking with you. And she was like, oh my God. Started dying laughing. Like, she was like, I really thought for a second. And I was like, I know you did. And when I got in the car, I was like, I didn't tell them what I had said because they didn't hear it. But I was like, oh God, that was probably a bad one to tell.
Who's the them in that statement?
Jessie and her mom. And, I did it out of earshot of everyone. But yeah. Somebody said you should nominate somebody with white privilege for the Drinkin Bro of the week. Let's do Alyssa Milano.
Do we all understand what that means? I feel like I have to spend a lot of my time translating things because everybody has different types of messaging. Like somebody says the phrase white privilege, and every white person starts to think, oh shit, they're saying that my life is easy because I'm white. No one ever said that. Fuckface. That's not what it means. But if that's the case, as someone who uses the word, you got to fucking come up with something new to explain what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? If the word, like climate change, for example, that fucking turd that came up with the phrase death tax, I don't remember his fucking name, Frank Luntz, came up with the phrase death tax because he wanted to make the estate tax look bad, right?
Yeah.
Then he came up with climate change because conservatives were more comfortable with that phrase than they were global warming. Like, he came up with that word.
Yeah.
Like, on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't to trick anybody. It's because technically climate change is more accurate. The world just doesn't get hotter. We experience, like, more chaos in the weather patterns.
Yeah,
that's
what changes.
It means. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Brittany C said, I'd like to nominate my dad. He just got a new fishing boat, and he's living his best life. Fuck yeah. That's great. I wish I could just disconnect from the world and just go out on a fishing boat every day and just say, fuck it, you know? Just with a piss-warm bucket of Red Stripes or something.
Yeah.
Just go out there and...
that sounds gross, but...
Well, whatever, man. That's my life, dude. Bruce Hins says the Hawk, too, for all the work he's doing for South Africa. I don't know what he's doing for South Africa, but it seems important.
I think it's Hines, probably, not Hins.
Bruce Hines?
I would assume that's how you say his name.
Or Hins?
I don't think it's Hins.
Tonto907 says, all my jumpy boys, BOIS, from the 173rd Airborne.
All right, Tonto, if you see any of your buddies walking around with a mustard stain on their fucking jump wings, just let them know that jump was into a secure drop zone.
There you go.
He'll know what I mean. It's bullshit. The most recent combat jump by an airborne unit was the 173rd, but it was into a drop zone that was already secured by Rangers.
Oh, really?
So anytime any dude showed up from there to the 82nd with that fucking mustard stain on his shit, we're like, man, get out of here with that bullshit. You fucking kidding me? But it is pretty dope to have one.
Sin City Rider says, my dad, SPEC, for us Army.
Spec 4. He's a specialist.
Oh, gotcha. It's hard to read. It's kind of all bundled up here. Melvin D. Newton enlisted into Vietnam at 17 years old. So his buddies wouldn't have to go without him. He was killed in action by sniper fire. 3/30/1969. The Poos. The Poos is the one who said nominate somebody with.
Yeah, I know. He was kidding. Obviously.
I'm a big fan of that name.
I don't know what it means.
It's a big user handle right there. The Poos. POOZE.
These people want to debate me or some shit. I know, Tonto. I know that you weren't on that in 12-13. It was like 2003, I think, when that jump happened.
DJ Davies says, I vote Ross for the recommendation of Killcliff with vodka. It is the very best mix you will ever have for the summer. KillcliffCBD.com. That fucking CBD and vodka is the best. I watched the fight Saturday night, which is weird. They moved it to Vegas. And so they moved it to, where's the place the Contender Series? That's where they're doing it now.
Yeah, well, they built a new gym for it now. We haven't been to that one yet. It's the new Tough Gym. So the Tough Gym used to be behind the Palms.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It was right around the corner from the Palms, and they built a new entire Tough Gym. So I haven't been there yet.
Well, it looks like it's the same size, and my only gripe with it is it's so small. It doesn't feel like you should be paying $65 to see something in a small place like that, if that makes sense.
I don't know, but it's so exclusive too. So maybe that's why. But I know that that building, the old Tough Gym behind the Palms, was hot as fuck.
Oh, man.
Like, they had no air conditioning here. I went there with TJ Lavin, and we were sitting with, it was me and TJ and one of his buddies, I can't remember his name, and then Shane Victorino, the baseball player.
Oh, yeah.
I think we drank like 2 gallons of water each.
Yeah.
Just sitting there for fucking 6 fights. It was the hottest. It was like a rack in that fucking building, and we're all looking around like, hey, we're not poor, right? We can air condition this place. What's going on here? I was there for free, so I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see.
Ruben, no, I wasn't in the Army back then, but I know people who were on that op, and they said it was kind of nonsense.
Yeah. A lot of hashtag Hawk, dude. The Hawk's so popular. He's a popular guy.
Well, that's a good handle.
It is. It is great. Look, we appreciate you staying with us every single day, and we're going to continue this for the foreseeable future. And when shit like this pops up with bullshit of like defund the police and things like that, we're just going to go live. There's some episodes that are on YouTube that are premieres. We'll just switch the date and just go live and kind of chat with you about shit. And the good thing about Ross Patterson Revolution being on earlier is at least I'm able to give you the heads up of like, hey, we're going on live in the 2-ish range. Stop by. Here's what we're going to talk about, and we're able to cock tease it out. hopefully we'll be adding more shows. So people are asking about Bert Kuntz's show. How far is Bert away?
He just built his studio.
Looks
I think
beautiful.
it's done now. Yeah, it looks really good. But he's been traveling. I think he just got back up there, and they got a couple more things to do. But yeah, they're getting ready.
I'm excited. We're excited for his show. He's going to be on our network as well.
It'll be him and Tyler Gray, and then
Buster, right?
Buster from Bison Union. I almost said Peacemaker. They're not Peacemaker anymore. But yeah, Buster. Is it Frierson? I never can remember how to say his last name. But anyways, you'll see him.
Yeah. I'm excited for that. Bert truly does not give a fuck. His posts during all of this shit have been hilarious, dude.
Yeah, he's just trolling people.
Bert Kuntz has been on fire.
He's in Wyoming. There's no protest going on there.
There's nothing going on there.
Because there are no black people in
They're
Wyoming.
in Wyoming, yeah. There's Kanye West, and then that's it.
I've seen, I was in Wyoming for a week, and I only saw one black dude, and he was married to a white woman.
Was it Kanye West?
And he had 2 mixed children. No, it was Kanye East, actually.
Let's end the show on that. Go to iTunes, rate the show 5-star, and give us a quick review. It helps scoot us on up the charts. We'd greatly appreciate it. We've never really asked for ratings in the past, but we are now. It's a different world with people buying out shows for like individually for Spotify and iTunes. I know they're making a big push. Amazon is now doing it. Did you hear about this? Amazon is making a big push in a podcast because of Alexas.
What do you mean making a big push?
They're putting money into a lot of media companies because I guess the Alexa, you're allowed to just scream out the name of your podcast and it'll just pull up your podcast now. I got asked to register ours to it, so check and see if it's on there. I don't have an Alexa because I don't want the government listening to everything I'm saying. I mean, some stuff.
If you've got a Samsung television or an Apple phone, they're listening to what you're saying.
Okay.
Which everyone on earth has one of those 2 things. So
agreed.
Good luck.
I have an Apple phone. I don't have a Samsung.
Samsung got sued in 2013 for having an active microphone. So they would turn the mic on. On your television.
Oh, on the television.
Yeah.
I remember the refrigerators. Remember that when they got popped for doing that? Matt had one of those refrigerators. It's got a TV on it.
Yeah, he got one because he thought it was cool, and then he just ended up drawing dicks on it all the time.
That's it. There was just a giant dick on his refrigerator. All goddamn.
Which is not surprising.
No, not at all.
If you give me something to write on and something to write with, I'm going to write a dick on it.
I'm going to draw a dick on it.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, kids. For Dan Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin Bros. Good.